Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with a studio update, April 2014. It's been a long time since I've done one of these for a variety of reasons. One, I just don't think about it, and two, a lot of times I'm not doing enough to justify any kind of update. But two or three people have commented on my channel lately asking for an update of just kind of what's going on. And maybe by the end of this it might make more sense why people would be asking that. So obviously, if you follow my channel, you know I've been sick lately. I don't know what's going on, but I don't have a voice. I haven't for about a week now. And professionally, things are going really well for me. But part of that means I've been traveling a lot. I mean, I'm busy anyway when I'm in town, but I've been doing a lot of traveling around the country and around the world, and which is great, but it just takes time away from the hobby. So let's see. There are some ideas that I've mentioned on my channel or that I've been working on that haven't really come to fruition yet, and some may never happen. If you remember when I did the year in review 2013, I was talking about doing possibly a weekly or monthly show, kind of like a Warhammer news. I still think it's a fantastic idea. I have things scripted out for it of how I think that could go well. But I think I can't justify the time for it. It's not that I don't predict that I'll have enough time to do it well and do it consistently. I don't know. It's the kind of thing that if somebody really wanted to do something like that, if they thought they'd be good at it, have the equipment for it, and have the time for it, I would be happy to co-produce it, and I'd be happy to host it on my channel. I think there's a niche that can be filled. Yeah, but you just have to let me know. One idea I did not talk about on my channel, but I've worked on behind the scenes, is doing a monthly podcast with, well, I don't want to say their names because they may not want to be known. But anyway, there's a couple people I'll be working with. You may have heard of one or both of them. I think the podcast would be pretty cool. I think it'd be kind of from some diverse perspectives. It really boiled down to the same thing. Even a monthly show, I just don't know if I could commit to doing it regularly and well. And so that idea is just kind of on the back burner for now. I kind of like the idea of it still. We'll just have to see. And one of the hang-ups there is that not the time to record the podcast, it's the time to do the editing on the podcast. None of the three of us have that kind of time available. So again, I guess, is there somebody out there that would like to help with the podcast that might help this conversation move forward? Without it, I think that idea might be dead for a while, because I just don't see my schedule relenting anytime soon. Thirdly, I was talking at the end of last year and all this year about starting Tomb Kings. I'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the studio update. But for now, let me just say it's actually still on my radar. It's something I plan on doing. Just time is slipping away from me. And I haven't had just so you know, the only money I really throw at this hobby anymore is money that I make off this channel, which isn't a ton. It's some. But because I haven't been as active on the channel, I haven't been making as much money on the channel, and so I don't have the money to go out and collect a Tomb Kings army. So it's kind of a cart and horse problem there. But Tomb Kings are not going to happen. The only thing that would put another army in front of Tomb Kings is if I just found a killer deal on something, and there's some other armies that eventually I want. I could see them jumping ahead of Tomb Kings. For instance, like I have a bunch of dwarf models, and so you've seen me play dwarfs a few times, and that wasn't really in my plans, but it just kind of worked out that way. So I'm still excited about Tomb Kings. Yeah, that'll happen. It'll happen someday. As far as painting, yeah, I've painted a single Bretonnian Knight. I'm not sure what. Well, I know it prompted me to, and that is anymore when I play games, I don't have enough knight models. And so I thought I'd try something different. This one I can see tons of, not necessarily mistakes as much as I can see my inadequate painting skills on it. But overall, I really like the way it looks. It's the first time I've tried for a checkered pattern, and I think for a first time, I'm very, very happy with it. These pictures are kind of, well, one, the coloring's a little bit off. Things always look a little bit different in person than in a picture. I think it looks slightly better in person, but overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I haven't finished the basing on it yet. You've probably seen this in my recent battle reports. I've been using this as a substitute for Karl Franz because I don't know what to do yet for Karl Franz in my current list. So anyway, this is a very, very small painting project. The big project is this one. A couple years ago, I made a trade for this castle set, and I, I think what I've yeah I think I primed it gray and highlighted it, and I've used it in a couple battle reports, but I never liked the way it looked. And if you follow the channel, you know I've done a few buildings in the past, and there's a certain method of painting bricks that I think looks good, and so I thought I would try it on this. So this is the very beginning and this, by the way, was back in December when I started this project. There's a lot of cold days. I couldn't go out and do much else anyway, and so I sat around the house doing some painting. So I primed it brown, and then I took, um, I think, 5 colors, and I painted every brick individually with those colors. So this probably looks familiar from some buildings I painted in the past. Painting even just one side of one tower was tedious. And then painting, look, I love all the Christmas stuff that was out. But painting all 4 sides, painting the top. This was, I don't know how many hours it would take me just to do this initial step of base painting. Where you make it look like a Lego. Like it doesn't even look good when you get to this point, but it takes so much time. And yeah, then just getting the details with the trap doors and the windows. And oh, I'm going back up. All right, so this is showing on the right hand side. That's one where I've done the base painting. On the left was my first dry brush, and quickly realized that one dry brush was not going to be enough. So this is a picture after I think one side has one dry brush, the other side has 2 dry brushes, and yeah. So after the third dry brush, and then I think after 2 dry brushes, then I used some washes, brown most of the way around and black on the top where the kind of flagstones. And then I did a final dry brush after that. And it ended up taking just a lot of time, but I just like the way it looks. I think it's actually only kind of a subtle difference from how it was before, but it also at the same time just makes all the difference in the world. So this is when it was 99% done, and the only thing I did after that was I used some black wash and created rain streaks coming down, so you can kind of see the shadows dripping down from the top, and then just kind of use black ink around the edges and around the window or whatever you would call that thing, just to try to make things stand out more. So from December until now, this actually, I think those 3 were done in December, and that's what I got done. And I'm happy that they turned out. I use them sometimes in my battles as standalone pieces. The problem is I still have 2 more towers, and I have 5 wall pieces. So I took 2 wall pieces and I've started them, and really haven't touched them for about a month or 2 because it's excuse me, it's like painting halberdiers. It's just soul crushing. It's so tedious. But once it's done, it's done, and I like the way it looks. When I get it all done, I might play around with some ivy and stuff like that, but I'm not even going to mess with that until I at least get all the painting done. So that's been the big painting project. Like again, if you pay attention to the channel, you may have seen this stuff around. So some big news. I want to say back, I don't know, a few months ago, I got contacted by a guy named Jack, who has his own modeling and painting, miniature modeling and painting company called Rothan Studio. And he reached out to me and said that he's a big follower of my channel as well as Sustainable Centers and Malorians. And I guess he reached out to each of us and offered to custom model and paint something for us, just as a way of saying thank you for contributing to the hobby. I thought that was very cool, and I said, absolutely, I'm thinking of starting Tomb Kings. So what you're looking at is a picture of a model that he custom built for me and painted and shipped to me all the way from Poland. It looks so awesome. So this is going to be the motivator to get me moving along on these Tomb Kings. Except for it's a little bit intimidating. I've got to match the painting skill, and I've got to match that basing. But he sent me some instructions, and I'll see if I can do it whenever I get around to it. So yeah, check out his blog. The address there at the bottom, it's rothanstudio.blogspot.com. He was very adamant when he made the offer. He said, I'm not looking for anything. I don't want you to pay me. I don't need you to advertise my stuff. I'm just saying thank you. And That, you know what? I don't care. I think it was a very magnanimous gesture, and I really appreciate it. I think it's just cool as hell. So yeah, so this is the beginning of my Tomb King army. So a lot of times people have been asking me about what my plans are for tournaments coming up. So let's see. It is the end of April now. In May, I'm attending Brawler Bash. That is local to me. It's only about 45 minutes away. It's not even that. It's about 30 minutes away in Durham, North Carolina. I think we're up to about 110 people signed up right now. It's 3,000 points, zero comp. The only comp they have is I think there are three special characters that are not allowed. Otherwise, no comp whatsoever. You get points based on how much you kill. It's a biggie. Then 2 months after that, in July, I'll be heading out to near Columbus, Ohio for Buckeye Battles. I've attended that tournament for several years now, and I really enjoy it. It's really well done. I always had a lot of fun. I'm I'm considering going out to the Alamo Indy GT in San Antonio, Texas. I don't even know if they're selling. If they're, I don't think they've even opened it up selling yet. But right now, I'm thinking I'm going to go to that. The TO for that was out here in North Carolina for a Masters event. I played a game against him. He's a nice guy. It seems like a fun event, and I'd like to just kind of work my way around the country and start attending some tournaments I haven't been to before. So I think this year I'm going to try to do that one. And then 2 months after that, it'll be November, and then we have Grail Quest, which is also local to me here in, well, it's in Durham, North Carolina. The important things about Brawler Bash and Grail Quest are those are part of the Mid-Atlantic scene. And in case you haven't heard, we have what we call the U.S. Masters Invitational. You can find out more about it at wargamersusa.com. But basically, there are several regions around the country, and every region has its own process for picking their 10 best players for a year. And usually it just depends on how you did in tournaments for that year. So I've attended one tournament so far. I did okay at it. They take your top 3 tournaments through the year. So I have Brawler Bash and Grail Quest. If I need to do well in those two, and in order to make the invitational, because they only take the top. I think we're bringing the top 16 for our regional masters, and then the top 10 from that to the national masters. I could be wrong. I think that's how we're doing it, and I also think we're allowing you to use the results from one tournament outside of our region. So if I do well at Buckeye or at Alamo, I can use one of those. So if all that goes well, then the U.S. Masters Invitational, I'm assuming, is going to be in December. And then if I do well enough there at the beginning of 2015, my goal is to be able to attend the U.S. Masters Invitational Tournament for the national one. Last year I was there kind of helping TO it a little bit and doing some PR for it. And this year my goal is to do well enough in tournaments to be able to attend it. So we'll see. And if I don't, I'll have a lot of fun doing all these tournaments in preparation for it. So a lot of times I like to play around with my various armies. I have 4 of them already, as you know, and play around with lists and just have fun. But a lot of times you're also seeing me preparing for tournaments, because these are big tournaments. There's good players there, and if I want to do well at it, I need to play around with my list. So that's one reason why you see me play testing a lot. So. Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has several functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like the video, you can leave a comment, you can favorite the video. I want you to know that I appreciate it when you do things like that. It feels much more interactive than simply me talking to a screen. So if you're willing to do so, please like, comment, and favorite the videos. Subscribe to the channel if you want, and you certainly are welcome to share this video on your blog or other websites if you are so inclined. Again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.